Barbara is a painter, sculptor, and installation artist living in Maine. She works in the age-old medium of fresco, which she learned when she was the head cook at the Skowhegan School of Sculpture and Painting. In 2007, Barbara had her first solo museum exhibition at the University of Maine Museum. She is represented by the Caldbeck Gallery and has shown widely in Maine and in New York. Recently at the Hudson Guild Gallery in a show called Fresco Off the Wall. She teaches workshops at the Aspen Institute, the Farnsworth Museum, Haystack Mountain School, Pratt Institute, and various Maine colleges, and has received Adolph and Esther Gottlieb and the Pollock Krasner grants. Please welcome alumni presenter Barbara.
So when I was asked to do this, I thought about the moment that I really started thinking about becoming a painter, and it was this truck. This boyfriend of mine in college in 1969 asked me to go across the country with him, and I said, you know, I don't think I can go. He came to this little seaside town where I was working, and the truck had Don't Tread on Me on one side and Revolution on the other, and I said, you know, we're going to get arrested in every state. So I just decided, I said, I can't go, I'm going to stay home and paint. And so basically what happened, I think, is that, you know, sometimes when you tell somebody something that you're going to do it, then it helps you and it gives you some structure and some help about that you've said it out loud and the letters are really big in your stomach and you're really going to do it. So I'm very interested in the domestic, and these are all fresco pieces. I started art school as a sculptor and ended up as a painter, and now I think I'm really making more sculpture now, or I call them sculptural paintings, but they're fresco, and I'm very interested in what we all do every day and how we rush around and where we eat and what we do, because I think those are the things that make us equal across, you know, social, economic lines. We all have to do the domestic. And this is a little installation of a one-room apartment. The lady that you saw earlier running was the person who lives there. And these are all little teeny tiles around the top that have everyday things. This was about this beauty salon that I used to go to with my mother when I was a kid. And surprisingly enough, I think the heads look like Madonnas, you know, and I'm using this medium of fresco. So, you know, these are all old, you know, church paintings, and that's what we think of when we think of fresco. But I'm kind of using it in a contemporary way, but also, you know, it's about the domestic, and it's, you know, it's no longer about the Annunciation or, you know, religious things that we think about. But I really do think that the domestic is what gives us, you know, commonality across the board. And this was an installation about food products and where food comes from. And it had all kinds of things in it. There were chickens and where people eat now that people eat in their cars. So anyway, these pieces are they're sort of proud from the wall, maybe about 6 inches, some of them. And I really do still think of myself as a painter, though. I'm still using the wall as a ground as I kind of put these pieces on top of the wall as bas reliefs. This is a piece called Bird Guide, and I've actually identified all these birds and seen them. It's a drawing on mylar and with Sharpies, and then I attach things to them. This is another little drawing of Sharpies on kind of white backdrop paper, and I've started coming into the room a little bit, like the jeans with the underwear and stuff are on the floor. The rest of the stuff is on the wall. And I'm interested about, you know, bringing the inside out and the outside in, and this is just called Interior with Buck. And this is This is just bureau with fawn. But I'm kind of interested in that stuff about how when you look out the window and you see something natural juxtaposed with furniture or with home decoration, and and what those two things look like together. And this is an installation that actually Dave Clough photographed for me, and it was called Seasonal Suite. It was at Callbeck last summer, and I'm very interested in the environment and what's happening. How we have these little pests now that are close to home because they're eating our roadkill and stuff. What I mean by close to home is they're coming into the towns and the cities. We see more fox, we see more skunks, we see all this stuff, and they're rabid, and things are wrong with them because they're eating our diet now. And so anyway, this is a long wall. This is a close-up of the bees and the bear. The bees are probably about as big as your hand. And these were the first wall drawings that I made that I started to add color to, a little bit of color. This is springtime. And I think these slides will bring us around the room, but, or is it the last slide? I don't know. But I make these big drawings in my studio, and then I put them all together. This is what I'm doing now. I'm making these portraits of people, but the people aren't there. This is of a friend who wears clogs, and it's her sort of detritus around the chair, and that's sort of a close-up of the books and stuff, and the shoes, and they're all fresco. I carve these forms and then make armatures and lay the fresco on top. And this might be that. Actually, I don't know if it's the last slide or not. Yes, it is. Okay. Thank you.